Hello YouTube world, this is Terry Carl, Joyedian, adventurer and lightworker, coming to you with episode 9 of Dreamtime. I got it in this week, it's here finally, and my subconscious mind has not disappointed. I've had some pretty crazy dreams this week that I'm going to share with you, beginning with a pleasant one that I had a couple of days ago. It was that I was walking the Camino, like I was finishing it up. I didn't have a backpack on, and I remember thinking, oh, I must be because I must be almost done. And I knew that I was going straight from the Camino to my upcoming wedding with Brian. So I interpreted that dream as a transition from one dream to the next, the Camino and the wedding, Spain to California, life journey, all that good stuff, and also maybe leaving behind some of the baggage that I've had because I didn't have the backpack. And then the one that's really been making me think this week is the one that I had not this morning but the previous morning. It was a nightmare that woke me up at 1 in the morning. I was at the Kirk Center where I currently work, and I was there in the evening and I was alone, and it didn't look like the Kirk Center. It looked like, I don't know, I knew it was the Kirk Center in my dream, but it was some different building in reality. And I was like behind a counter or something, and there were windows all along my view, along the side of the building. And you could see inside from those windows. And I remember at one point thinking that I needed to lean down, and I did briefly, but then I didn't. And so I'm upright, I'm clearly visible, and there's a car with its headlights on that's slowly circling around the parking lot, coming like to kind of see what's inside. And there's a man in one of the cars, in the car, and I know that he sees me, and as soon as he sees me, he stops the car and he gets out of the car, and I have no idea what he's gonna do. I just remember being afraid, like, of being surprised, and just like that was the scary part about not knowing what was gonna happen. But I remember knowing my phone was across the room, and I like rushed over to the other side of the room where my phone was. I picked up my phone and I went to type in 911, but I typed in 912, and at that point I was afraid that I was in trouble, so I woke myself up. So it took me a little while to fall asleep, back to sleep. I was trying to talk myself through it and what the dream meant, and I did go back to sleep pretty quickly, but I've been thinking about it. The nice thing about waiting for a while to do this video is that I've had even more time to reflect on it. And what really struck me from that dream was the avoidance, the not wanting to face and not wanting to be out of control or surprised by this person, which I guess is a part of myself if you look at the dream symbolically, that I was afraid of, that represented something fearful and unknown. So I really come to look at it as two things, really. One, a need to acknowledge my fears and face them head on. I think I was looking symbolically at the phone and typing in the wrong number, and that means to me that I was looking for help against this part of me that I was afraid of, or this thing that I was fearful of, and I didn't have the right communication or didn't know how to use the tool to help me. 911, that has to do with police. Police are symbolic of discipline. So I think what's happening is there are areas of my life that I'm avoiding, and I'm looking for help with them by tapping into the discipline parts of myself, but I'm not really communicating very well and working well with those parts of myself. I'm being kind of sloppy about it, really. I mean, I think I just mistyped 912 instead of 911. So facing fear in general is one way I wanted to look at that dream. Like, just, what am I really afraid of? What could have happened in that dream? What am I afraid of losing? What am I attached to that I was not able to face? In life in general. And then also, I've been thinking a lot about the light and the dark inside people. That aspect of me, that unknown aspect, like, I was definitely getting bad vibes about it. Just the whole thing just reeked of something sinister going on. So a male part of yourself is usually a subconscious aspect, but I see this more as there's a part of me that's unknown, that's maybe buried, unconscious, that I believe is evil, and that I have been afraid to face. I've been thinking a lot about that, particularly when I was reading the book Light Emerging by Barbara Brennan. I haven't picked it up again in a while, but I think I read about 6 chapters. And in the first chapter, I think it is, she's talking about the 3 selves that we have. That we have the mask self, which is the fake self that we put on because we want to be accepted by society, by our environment. So we create this self that we think will fit in. We also have the lower self that believes that we are separated, that we're not all one, that we're not part of the whole. And that's the parts of the self that we usually want to hide, but it's very honest. It's there. It's a part of us, and makes no bones about it. It's very different from the mask self. You know, we have the mask self, which is good, but not really the truth of what is being experienced. Then you also have the lower self, which is more straightforward about what it's experiencing. It's more of the experience of separation, but that's not really true either, because then you also have, I think, which Barbara Brennan terms the higher self, that is our true identity. It's just been buried by the mask self and the lower self and other parts that seem to be the complete reality and are not. If you uncover everything, then you will find the light that is the infinite, wonderful nature of your reality. So I've been thinking a lot about that and about acceptance again. Acceptance of all 3 of those parts of self. Like the mask self that was created for a purpose, for a belief and a need to survive. The lower self that believes we're separate and has its own agenda apart from the whole. And the higher self, which is our true nature, accepting all 3 parts, loving all 3 parts, and recognizing how they kind of fit together and how they functioned. And I know the more I'm able to accept all of those aspects, and the more I'm able to face more and more of what I'm afraid of in myself and out in the world, ultimately the easier life will be, and maybe not so easy as I'm facing it, but also overall the more fulfilling and pleasant and joyful life will be. And it's been almost 10 minutes already. So I had a great dream about transitions, and then the following day I had also a very great dream because it scared the crap out of me, and that's sometimes needed. It really made me think. Strong emotions, gotta be careful how you let them ride, gotta rein them in, but they're really useful tools. Just need to be managed wisely. So I hope you find that helpful. Please share dreams if you like, and I will see you again next week here. Please also feel free to check out A Moment in Life, my blog. If you're on Facebook, if you look up Terry Carl Joy, there's a listing of my events there. I also post my monthly, right now bi-monthly, newsletter there. I'm also on We Are Valuable Media on YouTube and on Facebook with weekly videos of there that hopefully will also be helpful for you. Alright, I'm done talking now. I will see you next year, because 2017 is almost over, so have a wonderful rest of your year, and much love and many blessings to you all. Bye now.